Hello, I'm Stefan from X-Dream Media. This is an how-to video on x-dream-Fabrik Publish. It's our second video. The first video was about a simple publication of a ready-to-go asset. Now we do make a next step. We want to do an editing first and then the publication follows, as we have seen earlier. Here at the screen I'm now logged on to an x-dream-Fabrik that is prepared for this particular use case, because it has a workspace configured that we call manual editing. On the left-hand side we see the upload panel, in the middle we have the post-production panel, and on the right-hand side there's the asset, and even more on the right-hand side there's the publication. But let's start first with getting a video uploaded. I've done this already. We see this here. There's a video from French television about a news break in the evening. Now we want to create a new editing, because here the idea is we take videos that are ready to go, have been used on television for instance, and we refine that, create a new version out of that we want to do in editing. So as said, we recreate a video. And we want to do this on our browser-based editor and cut the social post. So for instance, a little bit of a work order for the editor. That creates a new and empty editing project. So all we need to do is we do a drag and drop. We move the content from all the other panels, in this case from the upload, can be from the assets, can be from recording, can be from feeds, to the post-production. We see that here and we say send it to the editor. What happens now is that the video is being taken from the source module, it's sent to the editing module, in particular to the editing storage, and then once this has happened it is available here. So has not taken long, and we can see this here with this green arrow that the send has happened. Now we can open that in the editor and we can start the editing work. I have prepared something a little bit earlier for us, and this is here this other project. I do open the online editor, and here we can see the video that I have just uploaded, and I can see my source. I can switch the view so that I have my typical source view and my target view, so the timeline. And here down there I have prepared already the cutout of two of that stories from this like half an hour news break. There are different ways to do so. So one is we say, okay, we do trim at the source. So for instance, we do find this attack here, this bomb attack. We set an in point. We find the end that is here. We can do frame by frame ripple. And then finally we set the out point, and all we do is we take that video and add it to all the others. Can happen like this, one way. The other way is I take the complete video to the timeline, and now I start cutting. Sorry, that is the cutted version already. Take the complete video. Sorry, I have the cutout version here. If you want to do this, then we need to delete the sources. So I can say I want to take this segment, bring that to the timeline, and I have multiple layers, but let's keep things simple. And now I want to find my next story, for instance, where I cut out and highlight. Say here it starts. I use the cut and trim away the first half and find my in point, out point. Sorry for that. That's probably, let's say we want to shorten the story without all the discussion in the studio, just a highlight, and it ends already here. Why? Because you want to do a social post that has to be short. So there can be some underlying music, for instance. We can have text that we do as an overlay. So that was created here. I was super creative. My text is text. I have a background music. We can review that. We can add transitions. So let's say we want to add some dissolves, add our cut points. That needs to be connected again here. And then finally we say we want to publish. Publish means we are now rendering the video. Output social cut. By the way, don't be surprised, my user interface is German in this particular case because it's multilingual. So in your case it will come up in French, English, Spanish language. Now this does take a moment for the rendering, and once this has happened we have a video available that shows up in our module, in the Fabrik module, where we can make use of it. So here we need to wait a moment. I would say later on we cut this how-to video at this point. And suddenly it was finished. So all we need to do is we just close it. We don't need to download or copy or whatsoever, because the video is available for us in the background. We can also close the browser here, and then in a moment we should have an editing result that shows up here. Suddenly rendering has finished. We could download. We can see the video to prove it, whether we like the editing result. But that is already stored in the system. Now, once the rendering has finished and we have closed the editing application, we are back to x-dream-Fabrik, and we are now here again at the production panel. And as you can see, there's now an editing result. In the status view, we see that content was sent, it was in post-production, it was approved, and it's now waiting. It's waiting for approval, and this is what we can do here. So with this camera symbol, we can open the video, we can preview it, and then at the end of the day, we accept it or we reject it. So in this case, let's say we want to accept it. And once this has happened, then we can make use of that video. It will turn to the view that we have seen earlier. So for instance, like here, where we have one video that is waiting for approval, the other one that is already approved. And this video is then taken with drag and drop into our assets repository. And then we are more or less at the same point as we have been when we did a direct posting of a ready-to-go asset. What is the difference? The difference is that we used our production panel to do a manual post-production on the browser-based editor. Now, here we have to wait for a moment. This creates us a thumbnail, a proxy, has taken now like 5 to 10 seconds. And again, we would now say we want to create additional essences. So for instance, we say we need a 9:16, so a vertical video from that. That has kicked off this action. We are requested to add descriptive metadata again. So I need to switch that into the editing mode and say that is my video, my social post about the font whatsoever. And then we have the possibility to create a new publication. This is what we see here on the right-hand side. As said earlier, this is a system that was configured especially for that. So as you remember from the earlier video, we then say we create a new publication, and we don't need this details view. With a drag and drop, we move it to the publication. That gives us the video. We select the proxy for that very moment to preview. We say we want to go, let's say, to our own website and to YouTube. What else? Nothing. We say OK. That creates us a new publication. In a moment, here it is. Shows us the metadata that we have prepared in the assets already. For YouTube and the website, we probably want to select a category. So like that is news type of content. And then finally we say publish, and the content goes to the publication platform, in this case to the website and YouTube, as we have done it earlier in this case. That is how we use x-dream-Fabrik Publish in the manual editing mode. Thank you so much for watching.